Okay, now to the...
By the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
That's President Trump calling out Bank of America's CEO Brian Moynihan right to his face. The bank denies any political bias, that it was debanking conservatives. Joining us now for his reaction, former Home Depot CEO and former Chrysler Automotive CEO Bob Nardelli. Bob, always wonderful to see you again. What is your take on this story?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Elizabeth. It's clear that this administration and this president is not bashful about, raising these types of issues. And so there's probably some truth. I was just listening to, what Jamie Dimon said and what Brian said from the Bank of America. So there's probably truth in both statements. But I think this president has a knack of calling things out that either are going to change the policy or call people, to be held accountable for some of their actions, whether voluntary, involuntary, or by policy. But again, I think he's off to a very fast start. I think he's not bashful at all, even at the inaugural address, making some comments with people sitting, right there across from him, just as he did here with Davos. He zoomed in and really called these people out. And let's see what happens. But
yeah, Senator Haggerty, he's basically saying it's easy to give a dog whistle in D.C. to a banking regulator or a bank CEO saying, well, we don't really like that person's statements, and then they could act accordingly. First Lady Melania Trump wrote in her memoir that she and her son Barron were debanked. They were dropped by a bank. She had a long-standing financial relationship. She did not name the bank that closed her accounts. What do you make of the First Lady here saying this?
Yeah, well, look, I have tremendous confidence. I'm sure she didn't fabricate that. Something happened there, Elizabeth, to Brian and Barron, and to, she's not the type of first lady that's going to make a story up just for sensationalism. I think something probably happened there. It remains to be seen. Elizabeth, I can tell you personally, in private equity, there was a company that basically was given 24 hours and their account was closed and they had to move it because of the types of products they were involved in. Now, again, they're sold across the country, but there was fear that if they had a relationship with someone that was selling arms, legally here in the United States, that they could be punished for that. So that company, that small company, had 24 hours to turn around and move all of their accounts. So I can tell you personally, I've experienced some of what's being said here today. But let's hope that the legislation gets this straightened out.
Bob, thank you so much. Bob Nardelli there. A pleasure to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.